While photographing in the savannah, George was startled when a lioness approached him from behind. Surprisingly, she seemed non-aggressive and in distress. Intrigued, he followed her and soon spotted a strangely bloated lion in the distance, leaving him in disbelief. George quickly called the local vet, who was baffled by what she saw. It was her first time encountering something like this, so she called the authorities. After using an ultrasound, they realized that the animal kingdom is vast and incredibly diverse. No two animals are exactly alike in terms of their size, shape, color, behavior, or where they live. This diversity is what makes the animal kingdom so interesting to study. Some of the special animals in this kingdom are the platypus, kangaroo, and koala. Animals in Australia are different from those in other parts of the world. They are less affected by temperature changes and take longer to have babies compared to animals in colder places. When the vet called the authorities, she was promised that they would be on their way right away. This lion required more than just a veterinarian's assistance. The lion needed surgery because something unusual was going on in its stomach, and it could even be a matter of life and death. When the authorities arrived, they assisted the vet in sedating the nearly lifeless, huge lion. The authorities, however, did not only assist the vet, they also came to the aid of the rangers. "Sir, we require your presence," one of the cops said to George. "It is critical." George was taken aback. What went wrong with him? He wondered. George was asked a series of questions about himself and the lion. As a ranger, he had been keeping the animals safe for many years. He had heard about poachers and other nefarious characters in the refuge recently, making it difficult to protect all the animals. Due to a shortage of manpower and the persistent hazards of the savannah, the combination had been extremely challenging. Their boss continued to increase the pressure on the rangers, but they were struggling to handle the situation. Many outsiders have also noticed this and have taken advantage of it, making everything even riskier. One day, while George was on his regular tour, he noticed something massive in the distance. At first, he assumed it was just fatigue causing him to see things, but as he got closer, his jaw dropped in disbelief. How is this possible? George was so shocked that he took a step back. At first, he hesitated to approach the lion because he was unsure of its reaction. George felt compelled to assist the animal immediately. Something was clearly amiss. It was the biggest lion George had ever seen, and he recognized it, as it was the local lion pack's alpha male. However, the lion did not appear to be his usual proud self. His belly was entirely bloated. It seemed that George would need help. He decided to enlist the assistance of other rangers. When he spoke with his superior, there was no doubt in George's mind that something needed to be done right away. They needed to protect the animal from whatever was causing the swelling in its stomach. George had no choice but to act quickly, with more rangers on the way. He approached the lion gently, a little frightened at first, but his love for animals was stronger. He needed to figure out what was going on. He couldn't just let the lion suffer. The other rangers yelled, "Get back!" They cautioned George that the lion might respond violently in this situation because he might be trying to defend himself. As a result, the rangers devised a new approach. They decided to make a phone call and try to contact the nearest animal veterinarian. The ranger who contacted the vet was surprised when the call abruptly ended. The vet warned that the rangers needed to move away from the lion's vicinity to avoid a potential attack. Before sedating the lion, she requested one thing: ensure it's sedated for a closer examination. George and the rangers worked together to create a safe area for the vet's approach. George took it upon himself to sedate the lion since he had initially discovered it, striving for a smooth operation. Fortunately, the lion was quickly sedated, showing no signs of resistance or aggression. This suggested that the lion may have genuinely desired assistance. Now, the rangers could clearly see the bulge on the lion's body. George contacted the vet, who was still not present, to inform her of their discovery. The rangers were curious about what they would have to do next. However, when the vet heard where the bulge was located, her tone changed. The bulge was in a very specific location on the lion's body, towards the beginning of the stomach, indicating that something had become lodged and couldn't pass through. What, on the other hand, could be inside this lion? The lion had clearly swallowed something it shouldn't have, which would require emergency surgery to survive. There was no room for error. The rangers were stumped, so they went to the vet and asked her what they should do. Was she here yet, or should they bring the lion to her? They were hoping for the first choice. However, Reaching the ranger's site was a challenge in itself for the vet since she had no idea where the rangers and employees were. Furthermore, it was rush hour, so she would likely get stuck in traffic. But she needed to get there as soon as possible to ensure the lion's life. One of the rangers offered to take her, but that would take too long. Fortunately, people at the rangers' headquarters still knew where the rangers were and how to get there. As a result, the veterinarian decided to visit the headquarters. After describing the problem, a manager agreed to assist her, and they planned to cross the savannah in his all-terrain Jeep. This was never easy, and the vet's journey turned into a roller coaster ride. The travel took approximately 3 hours in total. The vet often questioned whether it was worth dedicating a whole day and more to save this lion, considering other animals in distress might also need her help. The rangers at the location shared her frustration due to the wait for the vet. Their concerns turned into reality when the lion's tranquilizer wore off and it began moving again. Some rangers wanted to release the lion and go home, seeing it as just an animal with an ingested object. Others recognized the risk of releasing it and sided with the vet's advice, forming the majority. Since the lion was still moving slowly, the rangers used their jeeps to block its path back into the savannah. They couldn't sedate it again, but had to keep obstructing its path despite the lion's irritation. The rangers worried about the proper course of action, considering the potential danger of a lion this size. They came together, even those who initially wanted to release the lion, to address the situation collaboratively. When the vet got there, the lion was still where the rangers had held it. But it was clear this wouldn't last because the lion got really angry. The rangers were scared to leave their jeeps, which they used to block the lion. The lion went after the rangers who stayed in their jeeps. Many rangers had been close to the lion before, but now they were really worried about getting hurt. Some rangers drove their jeeps far away from the lion. The vet needed to act fast because she knew she had a chance to sedate the lion quickly. But it was risky because the lion might not wake up. However, the vet was sure the lion would survive after seeing it try to attack the rangers. The only choice they had was to use tranquilizers to calm down the lion. The vet waited for the lion to look the other way, then slowly approached and gave the lion a shot of medicine to make it sleepy. They had to wait until the lion was completely asleep before they could continue. It took a few minutes, but eventually, the vet gave the lion a couple more shots to make sure it stayed asleep because it was a big lion. After a while, the lion was completely asleep. Some of the rangers were so tired and relieved that they knelt down and their hearts went back to normal. They had been really close to danger before, so they were glad to be safe. Now, the vet could focus on the lion's big bulge, which was why she came in the first place. She got her special tools from a big vehicle at the ranger's place and prepared them. She decided to start by doing an ultrasound because she had some doubts about what was happening. The police were on their way to help with the procedure. First, George had to respond to a few questions. But why him? By feeling the lion's body, the vet could swiftly confirm her concerns. The object was stuck at the lion's stomach entrance. The object lodged in the lion's body was something it had swallowed that the digestive system couldn't break down. There was just one thing that the vet could do at this point. There was nothing left but to carefully cut open the lion and extract the object. However, surgery is never without risk, especially when performed in the middle of the savannah. There was no other choice. The vet cut into the lion along with the bulge, with extreme accuracy and care. After passing through the skin, muscle, and esophagus, the source of the swelling was eventually disclosed to everyone. But it wasn't what they had hoped for. The swelling was produced by a scrap of meat that the lion did not adequately digest. Something odd was found inside the flesh, which perplexed the vet at first. This was the reason George had to answer the police. Inside the meat, there was a glimmering. There was a microchip lodged in the flesh. George informed the officers that he had an idea what it was. He began by recounting his recent interaction with some shady characters in the region. George had recently caught some poachers and confiscated a device they were carrying. He rushed to his pickup and handed the device to the authorities. One police officer recognized the gadget because they had seen a similar device before. This device might have been used to track the microchip, making it easier for poachers to find the lion without the rangers noticing. This was a new strategy because the lion couldn't digest the meat used and it got stuck. The vet quickly stitched up the lion after taking out the chip. While doing this, she checked if the lion had any other issues. Since the lion seemed healthy, she thought he would recover quickly. After a few minutes, the lion woke up, initially looking bewildered. However, It soon moved away much faster than before the surgery. Once the lion had returned to the savannah, the vet had one more task to complete. She commended the rangers for their heroic efforts. She then headed back to the city, where more patients awaited her. Before leaving, the vet ensured that George would keep her updated on the lion's activities. The responsible poachers were caught by the police, leading to the dismantling of their entire operation, making the animals safe once more.